At the beginning of the season, we're all talking about Denver. We're all talking about Denver's quest to repeat as champions. We have not seen a repeat champion since the 2017-18 Golden State Warriors. But you believe we haven't seen the last one. Why is that?
Well, I know so many people are saying that the super team might be dead or that we are not going to have all of these back-to-backs and there's more parity. I think there is more parity, but I think teams need to just kind of get through, have a little bit of luck. There's been some unlucky things that have happened. Let's start with Toronto, that first line we showed up there.
Okay.
There we go, the Toronto Raptors. Finals MVP. Right? They had a young monster roster. Yes, they won the championship, in my opinion, because of the 2 injuries to Kevin Durant and to Klay Thompson. But they had a young OG Anunoby. We see what he's doing with the Knicks. They had Pascal Siakam. We see what he's doing with the Pacers. They had Van Fleet. We saw how important he is to Houston. So they had a young monster up there and weren't able to keep the Finals MVP. If he stays there, to me, they could win 2 out of 3. That's what they were selling him on.
So that's the reason
that is the reason why they weren't able to get it done.
So what about 2020?
2020, let's show it. The Lakers.
Right.
They were the number 2 seed. After they won the championship, they were the number 2 seed. Yes, it was a bubble championship, but they came back and they were balling. LeBron James missed 20 games. That dropped them from the 2 seed all the way down. Yes, he was healthy in the postseason, but then AD goes down in the postseason. Right. So this team and their requests are in their journey to go and do a back-to-back, they get unlucky with injuries. That's part of the thing. That's part of the game. So it's like when you look at it, you lose the Finals MVP, you get unlucky with injury, then the Milwaukee Bucks, the team that finally broke through.
Yep.
But there's just something about their lack of resolve. They're up 3-2, and they can't finish it off. So that's what they lose. And that has always been their story. That's been their story, is just underperforming in the postseason. They had the talent. They were healthy, just couldn't get it done. So to me, they had the talent. They just didn't have the resolve. So it's not a matter of like, oh, there's not the opportunities out there. All of these teams have had opportunities. Lose one, injury, underperform like we normally see. Let's show the next. This one is a little awkward because it was some infighting, if we will. There was some energy. There was the punch.
And then Andrew Wiggins missed half
Andrew Wiggins missed the third. So again, these are unforeseen things. This right here, this team doesn't get an opportunity to go repeat because they have infighting and all of a sudden one of your best players just disappears. The guy that could have been Finals MVP, a lot of people had that, gone. Again, this was just unforeseen circumstances, things that you don't normally see. We had never seen a defending champion go through that on the back end. Not being able to play well at home, not being able to play well on the road. They just couldn't figure it out the next 2 years. So to me, and then finally, the Denver Nuggets. Yes, they have the MVP. Yes, they have the best starting lineup in basketball. But they weren't as good as they were last year. They lost Jeff Green. They lost Bruce Brown. And to me, I don't buy that they ran out of gas or that they were tired. If they were tired, it's because those boys were dog walking them for 7 games. That was the big thing for me. So did they have enough? They had the MVP. They were healthy. They were healthy throughout the season. They just couldn't get through. They couldn't finish it off. So to me, it's been unlucky, it's been unhealthy, and there's been teams that haven't shown the resolve. When you are those dogs, you either have the resolve, you have the talent, but you definitely got to have the health and the luck.
So you've said that you didn't think there was going to be another dynasty, another repeat champion that we're going to see for the next 10 to 15 years. And frankly, the NBA has built those rules. That's why they want it that way, Perk.
Yeah, but I'm trying to see, Richard. Like, I understand those points. Are you saying there's going to be a team?
Well, thank you. I'm glad that you asked, Perk, because I believe that there are 3 teams, shout out the Indiana Pacers, that are in this mix, in this Final Four, that can repeat and can win 2 out of 3. You don't think the Minnesota Timberwolves, if they win it this year, could repeat next year?
No, because we heard Michael Malone say it, right? We said we got to get Jokic some help. It's going to be some shuffling around. Teams are going to get better. You guys are going to come back. You got to think the Memphis Grizzlies, Ja Morant, they're sitting at home. They're saying, man, we want some of that action. The Celtics, people keep giving them a lot of leeway. Oh, if they don't get it done this year, they got a 2-year window. So at the end of the day, I still stand by. We won't have another back-to-back NBA champion for the next 10 to 15 years. And this is year 6 that we're going on right here.
Isn't it amazing how much we can sit up here and hype up Anthony Edwards as a young MJ? And if they were able to break through next year, they should be better. Next year, they should be better. They have a bunch of young players. There's not a bunch of older players. So to me, he should be able to win one and follow up with that type of MJ performance. Because MJ won one, Kobe won back-to-back, LeBron won back-to-back. So before we start holding people up in that spot.
No, but RJ, here's the thing, right? When we're talking about guys going back-to-back, we know this, right? You have to have a certain level of hunger. Do you think the Denver Nuggets were starving like they were last year?
Well, that's what Jamal Murray said.
But they weren't, right? Because they were satisfied. They already completed the mission. We don't know how these teams going to act. We don't know if Rudy and Cat is still going to be starving if they complete the mission this season, right? We don't know who's going to be healthy.
Sure. Well, and the other thing is, again, rosters are built differently nowadays. You can't just continue to pile on into the second apron with adding more and more stars like you could in some of these earlier seasons, even before this, when the Golden State Warriors were the last repeat champions.
I'm on fire. It's NBA,